told me you feel cool without Emerald. Lend me your heart, I'll fix the pain. Lend me your heart, I'll take the blame. So just forget the past. We don't need to go back to where we used to be. You know that this pain it won't last. So just forget the past. It reminds us how we used to be. 'Cause this is how we used to be. Don't you cry tonight, just close your eyes. And when we arrive, you see we'll still be alive. No, we left you to dry, and it hurts you inside, but you don't need to cry. I'll still be by your side. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me what you're feeling right now. Tell me that you don't feel the same. Are you getting lonely right now? You told me you feel cool without Emerald. Lend me your heart, I'll fix the pain. Lend me your heart, I'll take the blame. So just forget the past. We don't need to go back to where we used to be. You know that this pain it won't last. So just forget the past. It reminds us how we used to be. 'Cause this is how we used to be. Don't you cry tonight, just close your eyes. And when we arrive, you see we'll still be alive. No, we left you to dry, and it hurts you inside, but you don't need to cry. I'll still be by your side. Yeah. Yeah. You told me you feel cool without Emerald. Lend me your heart, I'll fix the pain. Lend me your heart, I'll take the blame. Don't need to go back to where we
Hey,
Hey, buddy, I'm back.
you're back. You know, it's funny. I was going through the videos there, and I would go over top of one, and it would just play.
That was weird.
What the hell? What is going on here? Yeah, it was just playing. I don't know. Like, well, okay, and then it would stop. So I don't know what's going on. Anyways, as we know, Melon is perfect.
Forever changing. It's forever changing.
Forever changing, yes. I've actually discovered, because I was talking to the guy at Melon today actually, and I discovered why the echoing was. The StreamYard doesn't do that with videos. Yes, I know, Matt. Yes, I know. I know, and I've already said that my there you go. My thoughts of Melon fluctuate from each week to each week. So my thoughts, at least.
We have many chats about this off air. About,
Yes.
So we keep using Melon, and we're like, yeah, we'll stick to them. They're doing all right. And then the week we do the show, that's like, fucking hell, Melon, come on.
Yeah. So I was talking to Jeff today, and he was telling me the reason we're getting the echoing is because, like I told you, when I share the screen, I don't have to click the little boxes. It says share audio, because when you're doing that, you're already sharing your screen, so that's why it echoes. So the next time we show a video of somebody's investigation, we will try it and see what happens.
If it still echoes, though, I'm gonna laugh my head off. If it
Yes.
still does it.
And then I'm gonna message Jeff and Jeffrey, whatever his name is. I'm gonna message him and tell him that no, sorry, buddy,
You're wrong.
that didn't work. It's still doing it. So what are you gonna do? It's time to give my money back. In StreamYard, yes, I know StreamYard is the perfect place to go to. And
But there's too many people on it. We like being the different ones.
yes, I was
Everyone
even thinking
uses
of
StreamYard. We use
Yeah.
Melon.
I was even thinking of maybe Restream or something like that. Try something else.
that'd be very different, that one.
Have you seen it?
Let's use Twitch. Screw it. Let's just go on Twitch. We'll do that.
Well, we are on Twitch.
Well, we are on Twitch. We are. Yes, I forgot.
Yes, we are on Twitch. We are on Twitch right now, and we're on Parapost Network Central. We're on Huntophobia.
We're on
We're on
YouTube.
We're on YouTube. Yeah. Well, I figured that, Matt. You couldn't resist, and that's fair.
I can't see these comments. My chat button doesn't work.
Yeah, and we discovered that because in Melon now I can add teams or people. They call them teams, and right beside it says beta, which is an indication that it's still not perfect. Because unfortunately, with Lex being able to see what I see, he can't see the chat though. That's the only problem.
So if you're going to insult me, do it now, because I can't see a word of it. So.
Yes. And Raymond, all your jokes, unfortunately, he won't see them unless he sees them on his phone. But
and that depends what streamer it is. There's like 900 different streams. We're on 900 different streams. I can't find which one's the.
I think we're on 6. We're on 6. You're probably best just to go to YouTube. No, but if you go to YouTube, you won't see the Facebook comments.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
yeah. So if you go to Parapost Network Central, go to Parapost Network Central, and you might be able to see it. It's on my personal profile too. So if it's on my personal profile, you might be able to see everything.
Right.
So as you can see, Lex is back. Lex has been working a lot. He's worked 14 days in a row or 13 days in a row without a day off. And he's still able to come on today and wear his McDonald's headset.
I know, I need to get a new headset soon. Yeah, I want to get one. I want to get one that's so subtle that there's no jokes available. Yes.
So we have a pretty special guest on today. I'm excited. Jenny Sullivan from Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers, which is out of Ireland. Jenny is on Parapost Network Central. You're taking the fun out of things, Brian. Like what? What am I taking away? And Raymond said that. So do I have to put up every comment today? See, there you go.
Yeah, I can't see our comments on this. There's none on. Oh, yeah, there we go. I can see it. I can see
Okay.
Raymond's comments. There we go.
So Lex is back, and hopefully he's back from now on. But I'm not going to take anything away from what Matt did, because Matt covered very, very nicely.
Yeah, and I want to say
And,
thank you to Matt for doing that for me.
yes.
There's no one better I could ask to stand in for me when I'm not available. So
Yes.
I know it's in good hands when Matt takes
Yes. Yeah. Well, sometimes it can get a little out of control because, we're a structured show. He's not.
over. I mean, are we structured? I mean, we're structured to 5 questions, but the rest of
6
it's
questions.
nuts.
Yeah.
6 questions.
Yeah.
The rest of it's
Yeah.
a bit
6
of a whack.
questions. I was going to say. So again, Jenny Sullivan's on today's show, and a lot of you might already know who she is. She is on Parapos Network Central. Thanks again. He said, "My pleasure." So you're gonna have
I've
to
actually got-
constantly look at your phone today.
Well, I've got the Facebook one on my phone, and I've actually got the YouTube stream on my laptop in front of me, so I can see the YouTube and the
Both.
Facebook comments now. So,
Yeah. So you're gonna be multitasking today.
I'm going to be doing this the whole show.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. Well, Jenny Sullivan, she is a bundle of energy. She is. She's a bundle of energy. She's in the back going, "Okay, Brian, what the hell are you talking about?" She is a bundle of energy, and she's a lot of fun. A lot of people probably saw her on Parapos Live that I did about a month ago with her. And so I wanted to introduce everybody to her who didn't see that show. And Lex never got the opportunity to speak to her. So I'm looking forward to talking to her. You know what? I should have asked her because on her podcast, she shows like videos and pictures and stuff like that. I was watching her podcast last night, and she was showing some very, very interesting pictures. And really cool. I enjoyed it. And so I'm in the back listening. Thank you, Dom. I appreciate that. And everybody else that's in the room today. I appreciate you stopping by. So why don't we get started, and we'll bring Jenny Sullivan up, and this should be an interesting show. It should be a very interesting show. If we don't get a word in edgewise, we can blame Jenny. She's pointing at herself right now. So yeah, that's great. Okay, so thank you, Brandon. Oh, Brandon's in the room. Brandon hasn't been in here in a long time. Thanks for stopping by, Brandon. We appreciate it. So let's bring up Jenny, and let's see what happens. It's going to be a blast. Everyone, without further ado, here's Jenny. There she is.
Hello. I was laughing at you.
I forgot I could do that.
Yeah, I forgot. As soon as he comes, because he can see my screen now, and he's on the team, as they're calling it, he can do everything I can do. Except,
Yes.
for some reason, he can't see the chat. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's
weird.
annoying.
Yeah, he can't see it. I don't know why.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's the type of show. That's the type of show it's going to be today.
That's
So-
grade
Yes,
A audience we've got in the background. Through the Lens is filmed in front of a live studio audience, if you didn't know that.
Yeah. And
Yes,
also,
it is.
there you go, Lex. That was
Thanks,
nice.
Raymond.
Thank you, Raymond. I appreciate that. Did you miss him, or did you miss making fun of him?
Yeah, that's the fair point, because he doesn't say nice stuff to me. This insults me.
Jenny, if you've seen our show, sometimes it can go a little bit off kilter, but most of the time we're
good thing.
try to keep it straight and narrow. So,
But that's a
so
good
how you
thing.
doing?
That's-
So how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I had a lazy Sunday. I
Yes.
did my show last night, and then of course, I don't, I don't listen to myself. I had nobody in the house but me. My children were away for the night. I could, lie down, watch a movie. No, I did video work, and I went through one particular piece of video that I'm thinking, I'm trying to debunk it,
Okay.
So I sent it on to a friend of mine, and he was saying, it looked like the bag was sliding off the chair.
Okay.
So so when I'm watching the other videos, there's a fire lit in the room, but you can when I'm kind of going every 10 seconds, you can see the two bags slowly kind of tilting over. So I don't think anything
Mm.
pushed it.
And this is where I think you and Lex will have a lot in common. Lex is the type of person that likes to debunk stuff before actually considering it being real. I'm the same way to a certain extent. I don't overkill it though.
Oh,
You know.
I do.
I know.
I spend
Trying
hours
not
on it.
to.
No pun intended, of course.
Then I must send you on this video then and see what you think.
Do it.
Well, it's funny. I was watching your podcast last night, which, by the way, was great. I watched. You were showing some of those pictures, and I could see where you guys were coming from on that one picture where you were outside and you were showing inside. Now you guys were pointing at the fact of that shadow figure that was in the back, further in the back, right?
Yeah.
And then the lights were on, then the lights were off, and which was weird.
Yeah, this was in Leap Castle in County Offaly, and
Okay.
I've been there many times. And the figure, like I said to Tracy, she's from London, and it was her first time in Ireland and Leap Castle. And I was telling Tracy that it's familiar. It looks similar to other pictures that I've seen from Leap Castle.
Mm.
And it was she took it with her mobile phone. She was taking pictures of the location and took two together. But we did get a great picture of Paradolia, and I was like, yes, it's Paradolia. It was perfect. I must send you on the pictures.
Yeah.
But it looked,
Well, at around 19 minutes here, there was something floating around your head in the back.
big moth.
Yeah. No, it wasn't a moth. It came from the window, and it was coming around. It was coming around very, very slowly. Did you see it, Lex?
No. I didn't.
Yeah. You're going to go back and look at it, and there's something round, and it was coming very, very slowly and around like this. Now we've had the discussion. You do have something there with you.
Yes,
Yes.
I do. Yeah, I have many audio from doing lives, podcasts, and so on. There's a man's voice came in calling my name, and you could see the reaction on my face. I must send you on the video that I'm kind of like, and you could see me. You knew I heard it.
Yeah.
But it was coming from my side here, a man saying Jenny, that I think is cool.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm down here when my children are away. I just brought my duvet back upstairs because I sleep on the couch when my children are away. I don't go upstairs.
So, because when we were talking, and I was seeing something behind you when you were on Parapost Live, and to me it was a woman, and that's what I saw, and especially over here, you have looked like it's a candle or it's some kind of mirror right directly behind you over your what would be. I'm looking at you, your right shoulder. Way in the back. I just saw something walk by there right now.
That's not the first time.
Yeah, so it's definitely interesting. But I think anytime anybody's in the paranormal, whether we like it or not, I think we end up bringing stuff home with us.
Which is fun.
Which is fun, yes.
Yeah, do you remember? Was
I
it?
know.
We did a show not too long ago, and my all the appliances in my kitchen kept turning themselves on and off whilst I was on the
Wow.
show. I'm just sat here talking,
Well,
and
I
then my
wish they
tumble
put the
dryer went
cash
off,
on.
and I was like,
Yeah, and I think at one point Lex saw somebody walk into his bathroom.
"Oh, it's my
And
bedroom."
he was
here,
into his bedroom, and nobody else was there.
Yeah, that was weird.
So-
Yeah. Yeah, that is cool. And I think, did you not do a voice recording?
Yeah, so I saw the door. So the door was being held open by something, and my door's automatically shut, so it can't stay open. But when I went to check the room out, the door was open. So I was like, "That's weird." So after the show, I put my voice recorder in my bedroom, and then I came and laid on the settee in here, left it for 10 minutes, and then I went back and listened to it, and you can obviously hear me walking down the corridor back onto the sofa. and then you can hear someone walking around my room. You can hear like the bed spring go. You can hear the papers being
Oh my
moved on the
God.
desk. It was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always had a feeling that I've brought something with me, and people have said it before. Brian's seen it walk past me on the streams. So I've just got it's just a friendly passenger.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
get used to it. You just
Well,
get used to it. And,
you know,
and
it's
okay with it.
fine to get used to it, but you know, you still don't want it around.
Well, as long
You know,
as it's
you-
not doing anything.
Well, yes, and I have 5 dogs and 5 cats, so I mean they don't seem bothered. I know they used to
Good
sleep.
Lord.
I know. I do,
5
I
dogs
do.
and 5 cats. Wow.
2 children and 1 ex-husband.
What's that? Say that again.
5 dogs, 5 cats, 2 children, and 1 ex-husband.
Okay, you got a whole story there going on.
It's perfect. I'm busy here.
And you know, it's funny. When you were on Parapos Live, there was one of your little friends came up behind you, and he kept on looking out the window, and you knew exactly what he wanted. He wanted to go outside. She's able to open her window on the right side there, and the dog can just walk out and then come back in.
The garden table is just underneath the window, so she goes onto the table, jumps onto the chair, and then back in.
Oh,
She did it last night as well. She only does it when I'm doing
I
live.
saw her last night doing it. She was looking at you, looking at the window, looking back at you, looking at the window.
Yeah, we did have
And
words
she knows
for
you.
it.
And she knows you. She could see you can see her because I'm sure she can see that in the camera there that she can see herself. I don't know. It's just weird.
And I gave her a talking to, and I said, I don't care. Pee in the house if you have to, but I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing it. It's kind of like it goes with the show now. It goes with any lives that I do. That Sasha's always behind me. And my
And
2
looking
hours
at
on
the window and looking at you. Yeah.
and my 2 hours on the floor, and my cat meowing to the kitchen. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a madman.
So, again, I want to say thank you for coming today. I really appreciate it on such short notice. I messaged her on Friday and said, "What do you think about coming on Through the Lens?" She goes, "Okay, I'm there." Okay, I'm there.
that's the type of guest we like on this show.
Yes.
Thank you.
No
Okay,
questions
because-
asked.
No, I knew I'd be here, and I know what it's like when I want to get people on my show as well, and they kind of jump
Yeah.
in, which is great. So yeah, I'm part of the network, so absolutely, of course,
Yes.
support.
Yes.
Nothing
Yeah, of
more
course.
frustrating than getting a guest booked 2 weeks in advance, and then on the day they just decide not to show up. We've had that happen before.
It has
And we've
happened.
we've had to get people. We're like, what do we do? Should we do it by ourselves? And we're like, put a message out, see if someone will come on.
Yeah, I've done that before. I think times were mixed up between Ireland and New York, so it was way too late to get another guest on. So myself and my host went off bowling. And
Oh, really?
did a live. We went bowling and we did a live bowling for about 2 hours. It was quite funny. It was very funny.
That's cool.
It was brilliant. So we just went bowling. We were going to stay in
Yeah.
and do audio. We said, no, why not go bowling? So we went bowling.
That's awesome. That's
Would have been
great.
funny
Yeah.
for like someone who's tuned in. They're like, I can't wait to see what they're going to talk about this week, and then it's just strike, and you're like, what am I watching?
So let's. Well, you know what? It's why not change it up?
Yes, exactly. That's what we did. I mean, like 2 hours, and I think he cheated. I think he cheated.
How do you cheat in bowling?
You make sure the other person's not looking, and then you walk down the slippery aisle and you kick the pins over.
Yes, I won one game, but Aidan blamed his shoes because he didn't wear his special
okay.
runner.
The only real thing I can see, the only real way I can see you cheating at bowling is when you're writing down the points. You put an extra few points there.
Now we have screens.
It's all up on the screen. It's all up on the screens.
Oh,
Ours is
yeah, that's
computerized.
correct. It's been a while since I've been bowling. To
Hey,
be
Brian,
honest.
Brian, it's 2022. We don't write down scores anymore.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been bowling. I've been at a bowling alley, but I never bowled. So I watched. And I should have known that, to be
I'm
honest.
so
Say, how many people did you see writing down their scores, Brian? In the 26
Yeah,
lanes?
you know
How
what?
many of them are like,
I don't know. I'm today has been not a very good day for me. So anyhow, let's move on. So let's start off with the typical question that everybody asks everybody on how they got into the paranormal. So how did Jenny Sullivan get into the paranormal? What was the start, or what was the beginning, or was there something that happened to you as a childhood or something?
Well, I come from a family of 11, being Irish and all of that, family of 11, and I was the only weird one. I was the only, I can hear Sasha outside crying to get in. We let her in. I have to move the candle because I don't
You
want
know
to
what? It's all started to make sense now why you have 5 dogs and 5 cats.
Come on, Sash. that
You know what? I just wanted to see that. That's why I came back to the show this week. That's what I came back for.
was the word. Good night and welcome. So I seen things when I was younger, and I could hear things from my living room. And in the water tank area, there was always banging, banging, banging. But I was told it was, what do you call that story of the man, the shoemaker. Like, I remember that I was told it was shoemaker, so I kind of believed it. But I was that child who kind of thought more if outside the box. And then seeing something in the sky that no one else, I didn't see it in the sky. I didn't see it, but I looked up and I said, "What's that?" to my friend. But there was nothing, if that makes sense, there was nothing there to see, but my mind said, "Look up." And I seen these 3 things. They were like shaped like Halley's Comet up in the sky across from where I live. And curiosity got me, and I wanted to know more. And I was petrified. But as this, curiosity kills the cat. It hasn't killed me yet. And then when I got older and older, I had forgotten all about these. I didn't forget about them, but I just kind of, lived. And then I got a little older, and I got contact with a guy. I don't know how I did. I don't know how our paths crossed. He was from Dublin, and I joined his team. And they kind of threw me in at the deep end. And you can, when you kind of breathe in and you can hear your breath shaking. I was petrified, but curiosity just got me all the time, and I'm still here 16 years later, and the truth is out there somewhere. But still looking, still searching, still trying to get that creme de la creme.
Yeah.
And have you found, so me and Brian love this expression, that being a paranormal investigator and being in this world, that it's almost like being addicted to a drug. You're chasing that rush every time you go out.
I'm giving up every week. I'm retiring every week, and here I am, still here with recorders and headphones and everything sitting around me. It's just something that people say to me, how do you think, are we going to get answers in the next 5 or 10 years of the paranormal? And as much as we have gotten, and as much as we could place it out and say, you cannot debunk this. This is in your face, black and white. You cannot debunk it. We still want more. I don't think anything will be different. I really don't. I don't think we're going to get the answers.
Well, I would say the answer's already been answered, really, from what we can see. But you got to take it on. It challenges people's own beliefs when they see the. It's like when you say if someone's an atheist and they don't believe in God, and then someone called God came down and proved he was God, would that person then believe in him? Probably not, because they don't want to.
Yeah.
So I think it's the same thing with the paranormal. I think you could literally bring someone to a house where the piano flies off the floor in front of them, and they'll just deny it to themselves because they don't want to believe in it.
It's ridiculous. There's a blockage there that they don't want to believe, and why, I don't know. I'm sure when they pass over and so on, they want to, either continue on as energy and continue on as whatever they want to continue on as, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or they just got to die and then that's it, kaput, no more. I'd like to think I'd keep going and haunt people.
Well, so that's the biggest thing. That's what I like about it, is that it's, for me personally, I now know what happens when we die. I know it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't believe it, I haven't theorized it. Like I think that I know what happens because of what I've seen and witnessed in this career, and that's a great relief for me because I know that when I die, that's not the end of me. But
Yes.
everyone who
Yeah.
is still around when I'm gone, I'm gonna haunt the hell out of all of you.
I have a list.
Give you some good videos. That's what I'm gonna do.
I think we all have a list, don't we?
Yeah.
I think we have a lot.
Love.
First person I'm going to, my first person I'm going to haunt is my ex-wife.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop by. I'm going to stop by and go poo, and draw something on the mirror when she gets out of the shower or something. And
That's what I do. I said I was going to do I was going to haunt my children, and I kind of get a few languages thrown back at me, saying, "No, you won't." And I said, "Watch me. If you keep annoying me, if you keep asking me, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, but in a nice way. I won't do it to frighten you, but then I might pull you from your bed or something like that."
No, I'm
But
going
if
to
I
do
don't
it to
like
frighten them. I'm going to do it to
I'm
frighten
good.
them.
But if I don't like the husbands, Mama's still here. I'm still going in for your husband. If I'm not here and your husband's acting like it, I'm going to hold him.
And supposedly Matt's list is growing.
That's the joys of being a ghost, isn't it? You've got the entire of time to do it. Your list will get bigger. Your list will get bigger even when you're dead. You're just going to be watching people, and you're like, I saw you throw that brick through the window. I'm going after you.
I think the only thing I'd be disappointed about is if I do come back and I am able to, move around. I just hope I'm not residual.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I got residual in my house every day. Cook, washing, cook, washing. What's residual? I don't understand. No.
Lex, I'm not sure what this means. Lex is
He's like
number
seven
1.
on the
Oh,
list.
Lex. Oh, I get it. Lex is number 137.
Well, of course I'd be on his list because I called him out for stealing my questions for his own show. So realistically, I deserve it. It's fine. Matt, you're number 136 on mine, pal. So don't worry. It's a race. Which one of us goes first?
That's great. That's awesome.
But,
Well, that's what it is.
It is. So was there was there ever in the 16 years you've done it, was there ever like an end point where you were doing it for something to find one thing and then you've just not found it and just carried on doing this, or have you found the thing you were looking for and then still continued on?
Found the thing I'm looking for, and I'm still continuing. But I'm still trying to rationalize what I found in my mind. I'm still trying to rationalize it. Personally, again, when I was in Newcastle and I was asking, a friend of mine, her anniversary is in September, and a friend of mine who was in Newcastle with me said, "Jenny, why don't you call out for your friend? Her anniversary is coming up." And it's actually today's date, a year ago, I was there and I asked this question. And I said, "Niamh, when I go visit you, who do I take with me?" And the spirit box was on, the recorder was on, nothing came through. So we let it go, and then we continued on with the night. I've never called out for her at any location. So when I was doing the audio at home the next day, and I was kind of listening to that bit, and that question was coming up, and I asked a question, and all of a sudden, dogs came through the spirit box, even though we didn't hear it. And I looked up at my computer, and I'm like, what? Because I take my 2 large dogs, when I go out walking, I take the 2 large dogs over to the grave. And so dogs came out in a female voice, and I sent it on to a few people, and they could hear the word dogs. So I was actually at the grave last week, and I said, I had my phone on and doing a little, which I don't really do, and I was doing saying, "Hi, Niamh, I'm here, just coming to say hi, yada yada yada." Had my phone on to record if I got anything, and I deleted it by accident. I deleted it by accident, saying Niamh, and I brought my daughter over because we had children at the same time and whatnot. But I've never gotten anything personal like that I thought I was going to give up investigation, because it was very personal. It was very, I had to dissect it. It shocked me, really. So, why Lep Castle, which is 2.5 hours drive down from where I live. Why Lep Castle? But the question was directed to her, which I've never called out at any time of any investigations. But I got the answer to that question, was dogs.
Right.
And I think that could have been Neve. And so she was one of my best friends. So I'm thinking, when I'm at home and, playing your song or whatever, there's nothing here, nothing. Just in Lep Castle, I have no idea why. Don't know. That's it. So I think that's what I was looking for, was someone personal and asking a question only she would know, because I always go to the graveyard on my own. And she gave me the answer that only she would know. So that was a little bit dissecting in my head, really, and personal. But I kept going. I kind of retired for 2 days.
I think personal stories, the ones that for some people that do it. When I started doing this, I wasn't looking for anything that's like an emotional thing for me. I'm trying to find something that I've seen and I can't explain it, so now that's what got me into it. But I'm always fascinated by the personal journeys that people take to get into this world, because it's a very slippery slope to go down if that's the first one you're gonna do, because you might not like the answer you're gonna get. Some people haven't liked what they found at the end of it, but it is good it's nice when it does pay off, though. So that is nice to hear.
Yeah, I wasn't even expecting that to happen. I was kind of like, I'll ask the question, but I'm not going to get anything. And she came through, and somebody said to me, it could have been someone pretending to be Neve. But no one, I live 2.5 hours away from that castle. Nobody comes to the graveyard with me. No one. And that piece of audio, I'm still trying to debunk it, because that's what I'm like. I'm still trying to debunk it. Yeah, it drives me crazy. It does.
So I've heard you talk about Lem Castle before, and I think you talked about Lem Castle on Parapost Live as well. It's a place you go to all the time, don't you? And
I do.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, I've been a few times to Lep Castle, and it never disappoints. It just gets better and better. And I was there last Saturday, a week ago. I was there with my friends from London, and other guests. And it was I did the audio a few nights ago, and I'm in the second floor, the banquet room, and I'm asking for a woman. I know a particular woman there, so I'm asking for her. And I think what I get when I'm talking underneath was, help Jenny, help Jenny, help Jenny. Oh. I can hear Jenny. Not many people can hear Jenny. And when people say, oh, you just want to hear your name. If I hear my name, Jenny, I'm going to look. This audio, this piece of EVP caught my attention of Jenny. I know it. When you say Jenny, I'm going to look. So not many people can hear it, but I can. And it's my first time my name has been said in Lep Castle. So I'm like, because I repetitively go to the same locations. I go to the same locations all the time. You just can't. For me, I just can't go to one place and that's it. Never go back again.
Yeah.
I have to research. There's one location I'm doing 6 years, and it's just different every time. It's the same new things coming out of it.
Wow. So that was your latest. That was your latest investigation. Could you just give us a little bit of history on that location, so people who don't or who haven't heard of it before, and maybe you can tell people what Lem Castle's all about.
I can. I don't know a lot about it.
Okay.
So anyone who's been to Lem Castle, don't come for me. Okay, I go, investigate, get a little bit of the story, and then I go home. But I don't delve into the history so much. But it was owned by the O'Carrolls. It was owned by the O'Carrolls, and there was two brothers. And one of the brothers started a church up in what we know as the Bloody Chapel. A lot of people would know Lep Castle for the Bloody Chapel and the Elemental. And the priest had started... Then I end up someone else. I bring into the pub. I bring into to get it buried.
Oh dear, that's funny.
Um, so there's a priest, two brothers, and one of them was a priest, and one of them started mass before the other brother got up to it, which is a big, huge sign of insult. And so he had a sword, and he kind of like killed him. If anyone knows this, better than me, jump in. And that's when the chapel up on the third floor began. Was the bloody chapel was named the bloody chapel. Oh gosh, there was two little girls, Emily and Charlotte, and they had died in there. We get them through the EVP a lot. We get them through a lot. They like to interact with you as well. And gosh, there's the oubliette. The oubliette is there where people were thrown down into it. There was spikes in it, and it took about 3 horse carts to remove the bones and so on. But that is. I mean, I'd have to open up my Google. Do we have time for Google for me to read it out?
Yeah.
But the Carol's owned it, and there was a lot of arguments, a lot of fighting for that land. It was burnt down eventually, and then Sean Ryan had bought the castle. It was in ruins, and he built it up with two of his friends with him, and he built it back up to where it is today. They live there; it is their home, and it's a fantastic place to go into. I hope my history was okay with it. But,
I've actually I've got the history page up, and you're bang on. Yeah, like as I'm reading it, you're like getting these little points in. I was like, I hope this is the right one I'm looking at. And then when you said the obligate in the wall, I was like, yeah, it's the same one. So I would actually like to go to this one. I'd like to go here because I've just found out that Most Haunted went there, and one of my series that I'm doing is debunking the entire Most Haunted show by going to every place they've done in the UK. So everywhere they've gone, I'm gonna go there and then do it properly and try and debunk the shit they put on TV. And I just found out they went there.
What did they say about Left Castle? Because I know Ghost Hunters International were there as well. Ghost Adventures were there. Most Haunted was there. What did they say about Left Castle? Because
there's not much. I don't know what they've said because it was in their first season, so it's a long time ago. They did say that there was a red lady ghost with a dagger walking about, but that's all I can see on there. But I'll have to watch the episode to find out.
I'm going to watch the episode as well. I have to watch the episode.
Yeah, but I literally every time I see that they've been somewhere, I write it in my book, and I'm like, cool, that's another one for the series then, because I'm going to go there and debunk that one.
So Ghost Hunters Internationals, that's with Barry Fitzgerald, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
A good friend of ours.
Yeah, so he's actually the spokesperson and coordinator for the Global Ghost Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Is he?
Yes.
Ooh, cool. I was going to get him on my show before, but one of the it's a story for offer.
Another day. So what's next? What investigation is coming up next for you?
Okay, I will be doing the Drogheda Museum, Millmount, my location here in Drogheda.
Okay.
The one I've been doing for about 6 years. And then after that, I'll be doing Wicklow Jail on the 1st of October.
What jail, sorry?
Wicklow Jail.
Are you familiar with that, Lex?
Was it
Lex likes to look up this stuff during the show.
Yeah, Wicklow Jail, WICKLOW Jail, and it's in County Wicklow.
Wicklow.
And what's the year of that jail? Does anybody know?
I can tell you right now because I've got it up on my screen thanks to my beautiful team in this flat with me. No, I do not have. It opened in 1843.
1843?
And it took 150 years for them to build it.
Oh, good God. Listen, I didn't even know that, and I'm going to it.
Construction started in 1702, and it wasn't completed. Well, it might have been completed before then, but from the opening date to construction starting date, it was 141 years.
Wow.
Which is a lot of work to put into it.
That's a hell of a long time to build a jail.
Yeah, but 1700s. Like...
Yeah, 1700s. Okay, so can we get into the alien stuff and the pyramids on how they built those? So why didn't they come out and help build the jail as well?
Because they were too busy making a fucking pyramid, Brian. You're making something that looks lovely, not for criminals, all right?
Lion.
You know, you
Yeah.
ask too much of these aliens.
That's it. I think that's another show. I should have brought that up.
It is.
So
I would like to just quickly say, just want to touch on what Jenny said a minute just before this bit about the castle, that you go there a lot of times and that you heard your name there finally, and they said your name.
Yes.
I just wanted to touch on that a little bit because me and Brian have been speaking about this a lot, where we distinguish the different types of hauntings in different buildings. We mentioned residual already, and then I call them sentient hauntings, which is when they're fully aware that they are still them, but on a different realm now, right?
Yes.
And the idea that they can develop personality beyond death. And I think the fact that they remember your names, because Brian's done this before, he goes to the same place all the time, and then he got his name through 3 or 4 times in the investigation. And I think it's a really cool little touch on, again, further proof that something exists beyond, because they're remembering you. And do you think that's a nice thing when you go there, knowing that there's something there that is probably happy to see you coming back? Is that a nice thing for you?
Yes. Hobie, my dog is snoring. It's kind of like you build a. I know. Listen, it's a zoo.
did you say your dog is snoring?
My Chihuahua is. You can see her. See that little white thing? She's underneath the table, but she's leaning up on the leg.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And she's
like
sleeping away, and you wake her up because she's snoring.
Sorry, she's still tired from yesterday's walk.
Yeah.
Yes, because when I go to the same locations, you build a relationship with them. You know, you let them know, and you talk to them like they're people. We've been doing the same. Every time we go into a location, we say hi, especially Millmount. We say hi, thank you. We just talk to them like normal people. And so Lep Castle was kind of like, when I heard Jenny, I was like, go on, yeah, Jennifer, kind of, and I've been a few times, but they said my name, and I thought, awesome, because a friend of mine was there before, and she got an EVP from it, and she let me hear it. I'm not going to say, I can't say what was being said, but she let me hear it, and I almost started crying, saying, send it to me, give it to me. This is like gold. This is gold, what she got. And no one has it. She won't give it to anyone. If you're watching in work, I want it. But she will not let anyone have it. And I understand why she won't, because it is gold. So I was kind of continuing on the question in that room. And that's when I got my name said.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny because what Lex was talking about, saying my name a few times. So I go to this church every so often. It's an abandoned church, and it's really cool in this place because every time I go to this place, I'm always capturing something on the microphone, SP7 or something. So I went there, and I've been there alone, which was probably stupid, but I did go there alone. But I brought 2 other people with me, and I've been there. I think that was my 5th time I was there, and they were saying my name on the SP7. They were saying Brian, so they know who I am, and I get that. And they've said Brian before as well. But I brought these 2 other guys, and we walked into the church, and we heard something right away. We captured something right away, and I captured it on the mic, on the camera, and it said, "Get out." It said, "Get out, assholes." Basically, what it said. Sorry, guys. Sorry for people in the room. It said it twice. So was it saying "Get out, assholes" to all of us, or was it saying it to the 2 people that I brought with me? Because later on in that investigation, it said my name 3 times on the SB7. So, so I wasn't sure if it was talking to all of us or just the 2 that I brought.
So you'll only know when you go back again. And if you don't get the word alcohol, well, then it was about your 2 friends. Sorry, friends. It was about your 2 friends. Yeah. And that's what it is. We get that. There was one in the museum that I go to, the Drogheda Museum in Millmount, and it's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. We think we knew what we got, we think we knew what we had, but then things have changed. We're back to the drawing board. Like, who is this person that we thought was angry, but just didn't like women, kept calling me names, kept wanting me to be in that kitchen area by myself, and then we kind of broke through because Tracy, she will kind of she'll hear these things, and she said it wasn't him, it was this woman, and they had him in the stocks and whatever. So I said, right, we'll start afresh. My name is Jenny. I understand what has been what's happened. I'm not a threat to you. We will look after you, and so on and so on. And I said, can I call you David? I don't know your name, but can I call you David instead of, anything, just him? And then on the audio, you hear, yeah. So then we went back
cool.
2 days later. Oh, we went back 2 days later and said, hi, we're here. We want to check up on you to see if you're okay. And that lady is not going near you. We will look after you because this guy has special needs. And all we could hear was, this was before we thought he was hissing at us, but we were told he had a speech impediment. So when I said, we're here, let me know what you like, what food, what drink you like, we'll bring it for you, blah, blah, blah. We heard, on the recorder, F off. And I'm like, is it her? Is it him? Well, but I'm back there next week. There's just going to be 2 of us in the building. So I like less is more for me. So we're going to kind of like...
Interesting.
And find out what's happening and just have it so quiet that we're just not doing it. I don't think we'll be doing a lot. We might do about an hour live. We might not. But just kind of get nitty gritty and kind of get the knuckles down and find out what is going on.
Yeah. So the next question I would like to ask, when you're on like everybody that's going on investigations, they all have their favorite piece of equipment. What would be your choice that when you're going for that bag, what is Jenny reaching for first, other than the camera and stuff like that? Because we all know the camera is the recorder.
It is my go-to. It is my go-to. I used to have about 5 or 6 or 7 of them around the place, and then I come home and I have like a year's audio to go through with like 20 files of like 8 hours in each file and each recorder. I have learned to calm down and not get all muddled up with my recordings. I write at the back of it what room we're in, what time we're at, what location, and so I know what I'm looking for when I go to each recorder. So recorder, I'm audio. I'm getting a new tattoo of a sound wave on my arm just above my ghost. Just above my ghost, I'm going to get a sound wave going across there. I'm all about the audio. I love it. That's my go-to.
Yeah.
I can't say anything against that, to be honest. I think audio evidence, forgot to English, sorry, is something special because it's a voice, and I think that's again, I don't know how people dispute it sometimes. As Brian said, he's caught when you guys catch voices, not just on recorders, but when you get them on
the live
camera microphones, like it's someone's voice. I know that there's always the hate, there's always the skeptics, like, well, it's clearly one of you saying something and whatever, and it's fine. I'm like, well, that's fine, you can say that because we know it isn't. But
you always have in the room, who's in the room, what time it is.
I always get everyone to speak at the same time, speak as well while I've got it on, because then you can match the voices, so you can tell who's who. So I get everyone to like introduce themselves. But yes, you can match the voice. So I can't disagree with you 100 about using the audio as a best thing, because, like I said, that's gold mine evidence when you get someone's voice and they're not in the room. Like Brian's had one in an empty room before. Like you can't explain it, and it's definitely something that gets your blood pumping when you hear that.
When you both are out on investigations, like for me, when I capture something on the voice recorder or the camera, you can tell that it's not somebody in the room compared to a spirit. For me, I can tell when somebody is when it's a spirit that's we captured in EVP. Now, for you both, and I'll ask you both, can you tell, like, even if you have like 2 or 3 other people in the room, you can automatically tell right away? For me, at least. What about you two? And I want you both to answer this. And can you tell? Because I can. So when I hear something,
I can tell. But it's context is how I know. When I hear stuff through it, I know that a member of the group isn't randomly saying something out of context. They're not stood behind me. They're not in the room while we're doing the session. I've popped out and they start saying random shit because that wouldn't make sense. Now, if it had gone in there and they were like, oh, I really enjoyed this filming session, then 100% that's probably someone in my team. But
Yeah.
if it's something on there like "get out," "go away," "help me," "I need you," "I need help," stuff like that, "hello," "goodbye," that's out of context of what the group would be talking about at the time. So you can automatically assume that it's not them. So that's my first one. The other one is as well, I've got a good ear, so I can hear the differences in the voices. I can also tell the difference in distance from the recorder and echoes of the room. So there's loads of factors. Audio is something I'm really good at. Like I used to do music, so I listen out for these vibrations and stuff like that. So that's how I can tell the difference just off the bat. Sometimes I might need to listen to it 2 or 3 times, but I can normally get it bang on.
And Jenny?
I would be the same. That I would get everybody to introduce themselves, and I would have no more than 5 people with me, 6 if I'm pushing it. I like to keep the group very, very small. And oh gosh, I was going to say something and I forgot. Oh, it was coming to my head because I was listening to you, Lex, and it was coming to my head. But when I'm calling out, I have a set of questions with me, and I'm the only one that's talking. If somebody else calls out, I know the voices. I know the voices because they're the same people that's with me all the time. If they're going to whisper, I'm calling you at 4 a.m. to wake you up. Because if I have to listen to a whisper, say, oh my God, I'm calling you at 4 a.m. Okay? I'm calling you. And I've said it many times. And there were 2 people that whispered last week in Lep Castle. One of them was a first time ever, and I think I scared him a little bit. And I said, I know if he's, please don't be watching. And he was sitting on the chair and he kept moving the chair. And I said, I'm going to cut the arse off you if you can't sit still. It's kind of like, I want silence. Don't walk if you don't have to walk. Don't breathe if you don't have to breathe. If you're going to breathe,
I've got to tell you
something. Open your mouth and breathe out.
I want to tell you a quick story here, Jenny, of when Brian came to the UK. We did a lovely UK tour. It was fantastic to go to the locations. Night 1, I would have pissed you off. So we were in this massive, I can't remember what the house is called. We're in this massive like mansion house, and we're in the attic and we're doing a couple of tests. Now, I'm setting up a spirit box session, and as I'm doing it, I'm getting ready to speak. And I cleared my throat, but I did it weirdly for some reason. I think I just went like that. Now, I didn't know that I'd done that. It's a natural reflex of me just to get ready to speak on camera. I always clear my throat.
Yeah.
And anyway, we go 10 minutes of a session, 20 minutes, and then we go back and we go, oh, let's listen to the voice recordings, see if we got anything on the recorder. We're going for it. And then all of a sudden, my throat sounds like someone saying the word Emma. And none of us can recall this sound being done in the room. I was like, well, I've even said, it's like, oh, could it have been me? And we're like, no, I don't think it was you. And we had 2 cameras at the same time. We looked on my camera, which is pointing at me, and you can't, we looked at Brian's camera first, which is showing the room. And you can't see me turn my head to do it. It doesn't look like I've done it. So we're like, no, it's not me. Cool. And then we get my camera, which is set directly in front of me.
Okay.
And literally, as Brian hands me the SB7, you see me go like that. And I've never been more disappointed in myself for the investment. I was like, guys, because we told the people that were running the event, we told the members of the public that were at the event, and because there was a girl in the group called Emma, and we didn't know that it was me until right at the end of the night. Like we didn't get to see it till we left.
Oh, you didn't.
So where this whole time we said, we could have got your name upstairs because we got it on the recorder and we showed them, and the guys that were with us hosting the event, they now know it was me, and I'm hoping they've reached out and said if they do get to see them again, they've let them know that actually we didn't get that name. And they crossed it out. They crossed it out of their book.
I'm gonna go and say Emma.
How upsetting!
He cleared
the whole tour. I was like, right. Every time we got a recorder session, I was like, Alex, shut your fucking mouth. Do not clear your throat.
I've never heard somebody clear their throat and say Emma.
It was weird. It was just like so I'm still putting together the videos of this tour, and I've done that bit. And every time I've left it in the video as well as, and then there's a cutaway to me talking to the camera where I'm explaining that it was me. And I'm kind of like, every time I watch that little bit, I'm just like, I'm so let down because we were so excited about it. everyone was like, "Oh my god, what have we just got?" Nothing,
Oh,
guys. That's what you got. You got.
You got zilch.
I
It
mean,
was bad.
it's kind of, you have to pronounce the word Emma. How did
It was
you
like-
cough?
So I went, instead of going like this, I went like that. So it rang Emma on the record. And
Yes, it's
I've
weird.
never done that. I mean, I clear my throat a lot because I smoke a lot, so like I've always got bad throat. But I was kind of like, I've never said a word in my life while doing it. I've always just gone like that. And for some reason, at that time, I turned my head at the same time and just went. And
Did you feel
that's
better
weird.
though? Did you ever feel a little bit better about it, because you could have been going around for a few years calling Emma? You might have gotten Emma eventually, but you feel a little bit, okay, it's debunked. Okay, we know Emma wasn't there that night.
Yeah, I feel better after we found it, and then I would have been let down if that was the only exciting part of the tour. That was the damage for it, because it was right on the first day. That was the best bit of evidence we got that day, and then turns out it wasn't evidence at the time, and we were like, okay, so if this is what I mean, we got some good stuff while we were there, but that one was like a really big key thing.
was the
So
best.
when
Yeah,
we
that was a
debunked
big
it,
letdown.
I
That was
was
a big
like,
letdown.
is that going to be the trend of the? I don't want this to happen
Where's the
every
boo
single
button?
one.
Where's the boo button?
Where's the boo? Is there a boo?
You played it earlier.
Oh, there's a gasp.
Oh yeah, we did go.
So
There
jokes
is a
on me,
bit.
guys. I messed up the that take, but luckily throughout the rest of the tour, it didn't happen, so I didn't do it again. But these guys were
So-
giving me warnings. They'd be doing a session, and I'd walk past, and I just go, and they'd be like, "Right, let's start it now because he's cleared his throat, so we're not going to catch that again." And it was a whole
Yes.
embarrassing
Tag
thing
it.
for me.
That's what we do. Tag. Even anybody who whispers, if you have to walk. If you have to, like, there's many outtakes that I have saved, and some can be put up and some can't be put up, and we get so tired that we kind of get messy because it's come to like 5 a.m. and we're getting tired, so we get stupid and giddy, and our words slip up. But yeah, I know, like, somebody has whispered before, and you're kind of thinking you're going to put it up, and it could be me sometimes, and I'm like, is it? I know it's me. Or if I laugh or giggle, it has to be me. And the guys would say, no, that's not you. And I'm like, yes, it is me. It is me giggling or laughing. But and then I won't put it up, thinking that it could be me, but it might not be me, so I don't put it up. But I'm very.
Yeah.
And do you find that clearing up your audio, like, I don't like to clean my up too much or even ever, because I could ruin it, and I have ruined many, not many, but one or two good pieces of audio. If you clear it up,
I never clean mine. I just make it louder. I change the volume on it to put it up.
that's what I do.
I don't.
Yeah, I
clean it
boost
out.
the audio. I boost the audio in the
Yeah.
software.
Yeah,
If you
Usually.
that's what I
clean
do.
it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, cleaning it
There
out.
is one from
you
that
just remove
castle.
it.
Well, the one from that castle, the one that I can hear my name in it, hey Jenny or help Jenny, 3 times in a row. And I was someone suggested to clean it up. But if I clean it up, you're going to lose it. It is a little bit noisy in the background. White noise.
And if it's a disembodied voice, the chances are in the audio file it's not picking it up as one of you talking. Like, it's picking it up as a background noise. So you're going to erase it. So there's always that.
Yeah,
So I've
well, that's
never
it.
once cleaned out audio for that reason. Just in case.
I
If
did
you
it
lose
once and
it's
I
gone.
ruined it. I did it once and I ruined it, and you just couldn't get it back. So I just
Yeah.
said, no, if I can hear it, it's good enough. If others can hear it, that's great. But I know what I have, so it goes into the file, and I know what I'm working with the next time I go back to that certain location.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so now I want to push forward a little bit more, and I wanted to know in the places that you've been to. Obviously, we've spoken about one of them in particular. Is there a particular location or investigation that stands out to you as probably your favorite place to have ever gone?
I'm gonna have to say my location, the Drogheda Museum Millmount. One of many, but it's the one it's in my hometown.
Mhm.
I do it every few weeks and go back to it next week, and we're trying to piece the people who are there. It's a multitude of people there. It's a multitude, and the history is fantastic in it. That is one of my favorite locations. Alan, if you're watching, he's the chairman of the location. He's the one I kind of I investigate with at the location. But it's different every time, but you get the same people,
Mm.
but you're learning the story of some of the people. Some are residual and some are very intelligent.
Yeah.
That we were singing Ring a Ring Rosie. I was doing the ITCs. One of my favorite things to do on location. ITC is where we have a mobile phone. Somebody would ring me on my phone. Like we always go through WhatsApp. No other like normal phone, Facebook. We don't do any of those ringing. Always go WhatsApp because we have tried the others and they just didn't work as good. Don't know why. So somebody would ring me on WhatsApp. I put it on loudspeaker. Their phone is on loudspeaker. They bring it to one part of the building with a recorder, and we stay in one part of the building with the phone on speaker and with a recorder, and we call out through. The phone is in the room by itself, and we call out from another part of the building. And we did it in Leb Castle, and we could hear it so clear through the phone. I think it was the most clearest I've ever had it, and on audio as well. So that was put up last night. But we get something so clearly. We don't hear it. We can hear or walking or conversations that the recorder won't pick up. Or we were singing Ring a Ring a Rosie one night, and then we just heard a man. We had to go check the location to make sure there was nobody had gotten into the location, and we heard someone saying "f off" very clearly. I think our singing was bad, and a baby crying. And the man, we asked what was the baby's name, and the baby is a very touchy subject. So when I said, "What's the baby's name?" and you can hear it, but then when we listen back to the recorder, you'll hear a man saying, he called him, I'm not going to say it out, Bastard, but you can hear the anger in his voice, So we're trying to say, did your wife have an affair? Was it one of the soldiers came here and was with your daughter or something like that? We're trying to kind of find out who it is, who has the baby, why is the baby that word, and so on. So that's one of my places that I love to go to because I keep pushing.
Do you, other than the, I understand people say when it comes to the demonic side of this that generally most of the time they lie, and they're not saying the whole truth, or they're saying there's something else, or they're saying they're a child. But when you're a regular, just a Joe Blow spirit, do you think they lie? Do you think they have to tell the truth? It's interesting. I thought about that before. Do you think they can lie?
I think they can lie. Yeah, I think they can lie. I think whatever you were in life, you are the same. If you're an arse in life, you're going to be an arse. If you were treated badly, you're going to be angry and so on. And I know this guy in Millmount is a little angry and doesn't like women, which is why he always kind of kept calling me names and with the ITC and so on and so on. I think they can lie. I say, do you like me? They say no, and I'm like, you're lying. You do like me.
And I get it. So we usually ask this question: what's been your scariest moment or scariest place to investigate? But I want to twist it a little bit. I want to go another direction with it. And sometimes we do this. Sometimes we pop stuff up, just because we can.
Okay.
So, it's Lex and I show. We can do whatever we want. No, I'm just kidding.
Do what you want.
Yeah, I know. So why don't you tell us this? Why don't you tell us what's been one of your funniest moments on an investigation? 16 years, I'm sure there's been a lot of funny things.
There's a few outtakes that I have up. I think most of them would be people jumping out at me because I do. The language turns the air blue, which I cannot say on live. Just things like that. Yeah, I remember I was going upstairs to get something in the museum, and I walked around the corner, and the same mannequin is standing there for the last few months, and they were all downstairs in the kitchen. But I was listening to audio last week, and they could hear me saying, "Oh yeah," and BASTAOD, and they were all laughing downstairs, saying that Jenny, must have kind of fallen, or it was the mannequin. Little things like that, That I've fallen any of them? No. Have I called people a lot of names? Abso-freaking-lutely. Can I say them here? No. But I've done a lot of jump scares, but I video it at the same time. I don't kind of just do it and keep it inside. No, I record it.
Yeah.
I've been called many names that I cannot say alive either. But I don't, little, when you get tired or you play jokes on each other, little things like that. Nothing kind of like, major. But when you get tired and when Alan was calling out, we were sitting in the dark in the kitchen of the museum and Alan was calling out saying, do you want us here? And I'm sitting on the big bench and I'm just kind of like, no, if you're just getting tired, or when I listen back to an audio, I'm kind of like supposed to be doing serious work. But my daughter to say to me, Mom, why are you laughing so much? You're listening to dead people. But it's like the outtakes that we do. It's a lot of outtakes. And I do have them up in my files that I actually want to do an outtake show.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. You like doing, because I know Lex is planning on doing it, the bloopers on all kinds of funny things that happened during that tour. I think the bloopers, I love blooper videos. There's something really, really funny about them when, like even at the end of some movies that we all watch, they'll do outtakes at the end. And it just shows the realism of everybody, and letting people know letting people know that it's just not all serious. We're also having fun as well, But most of the times, most times people put in the serious stuff in the videos. They don't necessarily put in the funny parts of the videos.
There's funny parts where Alan had kind of screwed up with whatever he was saying. He was supposed to say you put the lid on the bottles, but bottles didn't come out. Something else came out of his mouth, and it was. I have it on. My recorder is always running. So I have it, and I have video footage. Of me doing the jump scares and me jumping out of these people. I forgot one of them has a bad heart. But I found out afterwards.
Well, you're an EMT, so you can save them.
I'm a what?
I thought you're an EMT, aren't you? I thought you were.
No, I work with.
Where
dogs.
did I get that from? Where did I? No, you. What's your full-time job?
I make ugly dogs look pretty. I'm a dog groomer.
I thought you were an EMT. Why did I think that?
No. Probably with my
Where did that
phone
come
on.
from?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I'm sure we had a guest like 3 weeks ago that was medical trained.
Where did I get that from? I have no idea where I got that from.
Put
Wow,
that in
that's
the
Probably
blue.
my
There we
phone
go.
life.
Well, your dog wants out. See what I mean, Lex? Oh, you scared her off.
Oh no!
Serious.
One out.
You
Jump up in
see the
window.
other one in the background, yeah.
Yeah,
That's my
you can see the other one. Is that a pug in the background?
No,
Chihuahua.
she's a chihuahua.
No,
She's
not that
tattooed
one.
on
It's
my-
looking at you right now.
Yeah.
The one behind there.
Yeah, Chihuahua.
She's a chihuahua.
Oh, okay.
I have her
Oh,
face
yes,
tattooed.
I
on-
see it. Okay, okay.
I know
Okay.
I have 5 dogs, but her face is
I'm all
tattooed
over the
on my
place today. What the hell's
Nice.
going on here?
Yeah.
That's
EMT.
my
Where did
mother.
I get that from? Dog groomer. I knew that, but for some reason I was thinking EMT. That's weird. Anyhow, so here we are, the final question of the show,
Oh,
and
okay.
we all know Lex listens
Oh,
very
Lex.
intensely during the show and listening to your answers and what you have to say. And here we go. This is it. It's been
Lex,
it's been 3 weeks since we no. When's the last time you were on the show, Lex? 3 weeks
3
ago?
weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah. 3
Yeah, I missed
weeks.
the last 2. Yeah, I missed the last 2, yeah.
No, but you missed 2 and then we didn't
I missed
film
2.
one.
Okay,
So you've been
missed
away
2,
for a month.
Skipped 1, did that one, then took 2 off, and now I'm back. So,
Oh, okay.
because I did it we had the 2 girls on from
Tipsy
the
Ghost?
drunk tipsy ghost. Yeah, we had them
Yeah,
on
they were
3 weeks ago. That's when I was on.
Yeah, I like them.
okay.
Right, questions on.
You know who they are?
I've heard of them. I've seen the video. Yeah, I've watched. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
them.
they were-
I like them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
very
were,
fun.
funny.
they were good. Okay, here we go.
Emma. Right. Just clear my throat. Sorry, guys. Okay, so if
Ooh.
one day your dog was looking at you into the camera, back at you, into the camera, back at you, and then at the window, and you open that window so your dog could jump out, And as they did that, I jumped out and scared the shit out of you. In doing so, you fall backwards, realizing Brian is holding a camera. And then we watch that footage back so we can get a good giggle. And we hear random voices all over the audio. We don't know where they're coming from. And all it says is, I gave you all the money. Take me anywhere in the world to investigate. Where would you go?
Wow, that was good.
I like that one. It's a good
That
one.
was
That was
good.
a twisty question. Where would I
But the
go? Where would I go?
So, simplify it. All the money in the world belonged to you. Just to take it to investigate somewhere in the world. Where would you go?
Oh, I always had a list. But now that I have all the money in the world, I can pick anywhere.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing that down.
I'd have to be Italy. I'd like to go to Italy to investigate in like the Vatican.
Ooh.
The Vatican would be cool.
I'd like to
Wow.
go there to investigate there, and I have a few questions to ask them. Where
I'd be
did you
afraid
hide
of
your...
those answers. I'd be afraid of those some of
Well,
those answers because of
I'd
what's
be
going
very
on in that place.
Haven't they
You
just like
think-
released the cloth of Christ or something? Is what I
That's
saw it
what I-
yesterday, and I was like,
Mhm.
hang on, you've had Jesus's clothes for 2,000 years, and you
Okay.
haven't told anyone until last week.
Really?
Yeah, if you go, I saw it on Twitter. They've like people are doing what's that fucking thing called when you go for, what do you call it when you go on a religious trip?
Oh,
Pilgrimage. They're doing
Yeah.
pilgrimage. They're traveling there to the Vatican to walk around this big containing. It's like a giant table, glass table, and they've got the robe of Jesus in glass.
no.
And I saw it on Twitter like 3 days ago where they were like, the Vatican finally reveals that it owns Jesus' robe or something like that, and it was weird.
Wow.
That's the thing to me when it comes to paranormal and religion. And I have
That's
asked
creepy.
some I remember Aidan on the team, and he was going to be a priest. And we were in Sligo, and we were in this monastery. And then you have these, it was all kind of broken down in ruins, but there's all gravestones of priests. But you walk up these steps to a room, the door has knocked down, but you have all these big slabs on the ground. And Aidan was telling me these are the higher priests. So Jennifer got into nitty gritty of all the questions, because I asked the questions that they won't. Religion, your priests, why are you hiding these priests and nuns? We know what you did. And I asked all those questions, and then I'd like to go to the Vatican to say, right, knuckles down. Why are you, because the questions was in that graveyard, are you ashamed that Ireland is doesn't really give a shit about religion and Catholic, and you can't blackmail us anymore? I'm throwing these questions into these high priests that's in the ground, and Aidan said to me, Jenny, they're going home with you. And I'm like, sorry, don't follow me home. I'm only joking. But these are the questions that I want to ask, the questions that would probably have me blasted into oblivion. But they're the ones that I want to ask. I know it's very deep. But
It's
they are, though,
interesting.
that I want-
Vatican has never been mentioned
It
in
hasn't. and
That's
it's
Jenny's
definitely-
ever.
mind.
So I have a
Jenny's
list.
dark mind.
I have
Yeah.
a list of every location. Basically, the reason I like this question is I'm compiling them into a list, and it's basically to see if the mind thinks alike. Like we've had suicide. How many times? Hang on. Suicide Forest.
yeah.
I think we've had
Yeah.
eight times. Alcatraz 3 times. Transylvania, the Dracula's Castle twice. Yeah, we've never had the Vatican, so that's definitely a new one on the list.
It is. That's Jenny.
I'd be
from-
afraid to see I'd be afraid to hear what comes through the SB7 at the Vatican, to be perfectly honest.
I'm
Yeah.
afraid of watching the movies I've seen. What would the higher powers that may be? What they would am I walking into something I have no idea what I'm doing, which is probably likely, or am I going to go like all kitted out and armor on me, walking in with my recorder, and I'm all kind of like kitted out for protection, saying, right, let's sit down at this big long table and talk about who are you hiding? Why have you been hiding these things? That's what I'd like to find out.
Don't,
Well,
And what is the big secret of having Jesus' robe? What is the big secret?
I don't know if it,
About that.
I don't know if it was a secret that they had it, but I've never heard of them. I've never, and I'm not tuned into the Vatican, obviously, but I read a lot about it, and I've never ever read anything anywhere that says they had Jesus's robe. So
Wow.
it's weird.
I wonder
that-
what
like,
that would be worth.
Yeah, probably. If it was authenticated, yeah, it'd probably be worth more than all the money on the globe if you've got the Messiah's clothes.
could you really like?
Clone
Is there a
Jesus.
like on Twitter? Does it show you a picture of the clothing?
Yeah, it's just like a brown, like, well, I say brown, like a discolored brown tunic,
Greenish.
but obviously like really long, because it would be
Aye.
like, it just looks like a really big T-shirt, to be honest. But
It looks
let me
that's
see
it.
hang on, let me see if I can
That
find
to me
it.
is, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but that's creepy.
Yep, here it is.
Is it?
That to me, that's creepy.
the Holy Robe of
That they
Jesus. It's a
that they have it.
Yeah.
I don't know if
It
you can
is.
see it.
Oh wow,
No,
there it is. Oh, there it is.
that's
It's just
Jesus. Pardon the pun.
wow. Look at all the people around it.
But no.
Like
And-
people are traveling for like people are flying around, and it's in a really cool like container. That's the container that it's in.
Oh, it's like a
Wow.
tomb. It's like the
Yeah.
tomb. Tomb.
So it's really cool, but yeah, it's a really weird. So apparently, this is the robe that he wore before he was unclothed to get put on the cross. So it's the last item of clothing he ever wore, and it's weird. It's very very strange that they've managed. How did they preserve it? Who was preserving that robe in the olden days, though?
And how did they get it?
I was going to
Yeah,
ask
but-
that.
Let's see if I can find out.
How did they even get it? That would be my first question.
Who got it that passed it down from generation to generation, passed it down, and now it's only coming to light?
Maybe apparently I think it's been passed through different places. It's been in the Cathedral of Trier, Saint Denis. No idea. It's been in Georgia.
Really?
Wow.
So I'm not sure. Where did they find the robe?
That's it's creepy, but it's cool at the same time.
But then they've also apparently got, not in there, but apparently in the Royal Chapel in Turin, in Italy, they also have the burial garment of Jesus Christ, which is called the Holy Shroud.
Now, question here. Is there not some religions out there that believe, or their belief is, that the whole Jesus and all that is just a hoax?
Just some fancy magician from the North.
Now, with saying that they have their his robe, that would take that out of any question.
This is the weird thing, because if you don't believe, like, again, like me and religion are in a strange relationship with each other, right? I have certain beliefs and some that I don't. You know, I live like I believe in a god, but I've never claimed to one, right? So,
Same.
or I don't subscribe to just one. So when I look at it, I'm like, well, if that is actually real, and that is the one, does that not confirm a lot of things for a lot of people? Like, it's a weird thing to think about.
Ciao, man.
Because you have to comprehend, how did you preserve a T-shirt, or I say a robe? How did they preserve it for that long before we were doing it now? Like, I have trouble preserving stuff in my fucking fridge. Like, and somehow they preserved Jesus' crusty robe.
Is there a possibility that they put it into something and it wasn't originally that color, and that's why it's the color now, because
I think it was
they
probably
did
gonna
put
be
it
that.
into something to preserve it?
The only other, they could have. The only thing I can think of, most likely it would have been white, or it would have been sandy
Yeah, that's what I'm
gold.
thinking. Yeah.
To make that color. I don't. But also, Jerusalem's in the Middle East. It's gonna. A lot of the garments there throughout history have always been like a tan color and dark colors.
Yeah.
In everything. So it's hard to tell. It's definitely something that's I literally saw it 3 days ago, and it's like my head's just been like, what the fuck? So I
Did you look
really,
that up?
I'm gonna look into it.
Yeah. So my question is, why now?
That's the other thing. Like they've done it. Like according to the Post, it's recent that it came out. So I don't know how true that is either, or if the media's just randomly started pushing it out. But again, it was something I look into. But if it is recent, then the answer is why are they unveiling it now? Considering that we know. That
Do you know what I think sometimes? Is it a smoke screen for something else that's going to happen?
I mean, they
If
keep
that
revealing
makes
stuff like this. Like, you know that they've found the nails that were in Jesus' hands in a cave in Jerusalem. Years and years and years and years. They've had them for a long time. Someone's looking after them.
It's
So,
enough
like,
for me to not say anything, but
it's just weird stuff. So it's like they don't find it all together. So I think they found the shroud and the nails together. If I remember correctly, I might be wrong, but it's just weird.
And that's what Matt was mentioning earlier about the shroud conspiracy. But
I have this thing about when it comes to religion and paranormal, and I know, and I have spoken about it many times. Like with Lex, I live like, you know, I believe, and there's some things that I do, some things that I don't. But I do. There's one particular woman, and she doesn't believe in the paranormal, doesn't understand why I do what I do, doesn't believe in it at all. That's it, done and dusted, no conversation about it. And I've said to her, I could sit you here now and I can play all the pieces of audio for you, EVPs, video footage that I have, and some EVPs that you just are kind of like in a box that I love them, but she doesn't believe it. But she's a devout Catholic and Christian, and I said, but you're believing in something of someone that you've never seen. We have more evidence here of paranormal than we do of religion, and I know it's a taboo subject.
I think there's pros and cons to religion. I think so. We all know the obvious con. We know the obvious cons to religion. There's loads of them. But one of the things I like, and this is why I'll never condemn religion, even though I don't practice one myself, I'll never condemn it for the sole reason that sometimes there are certain people in the world where religion's the last thing they have, and it has saved them from doing stupid shit.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
I've seen some really bad time people. I've been in certain situations where I wish I had that faith to fall onto. So I would never condemn it for that reason. Like, religion has saved lives. It has upset people, but so does everything. Paranormal stuff upsets people. You know, because I'm telling them that it's true, and they're like, well, it's not. And I'm like, well, it is. And then they get upset with me, and I'm like, okay, fine. Yeah. But I think that's the issue. If you do believe in a God, he gave us free will. And if people choose not to believe in something, then despite all evidence, then it's you know, people that believe in the flat Earth, when science clearly dictates it's a globe, you can tell it from here. You don't need to look at a picture from space. You can tell it's a globe from here. Yeah. Using the sea. So, but it's like that. But people are flat out adamant that there's a big lie, and it's like, okay, if you want to believe that, that's. And I'm not going to take it away from you if that's what you believe in. The Earth is a globe to me. There might be a God to me. Ghosts and paranormal is real to me. So like, I'm very much in my own personal religion. You know, if I believe in it, then it's fine. I don't care about anyone else's views. Yeah.
My mother's husband, he's a non-believer in afterlife, spirits talking to us. He's doesn't believe it all. I have shown this man plenty of proof.
Wait, is he religious or just doesn't?
No, he's not religious at all.
Okay, because some religions will not believe anyway, he's not. Like Christianity, there is no afterlife.
Which is funny because part of his background is native Indian.
Really?
And which surprises me, but I've showed him so much. He always says, "Well, there's an explanation for that." And it's not true.
I love that sentence. Sentence.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but there's always something to explain it. Yeah, there is. I'm telling you the explanation. Paranormal is the explanation, my friend.
But
we haven't debunk that we haven't tried it already, that we have tried to
Yeah.
debunk
Yeah.
stuff, a lot of stuff. But
Yeah, unfortunately, he's older, I will say, and he's set in his ways, and you're not going to change his mind at all,
yeah,
and which is fine. But if I bring him on a hunt or a ghost hunt or a paranormal investigation, and if he actually literally gets touched or hears something, maybe he might change his mind.
There are some people that a ghost could appear in front of them, like manifest in front of them, and punch you in the face, and they still will deny it. It was the wind. Oh, okay, never mind, my friend.
something else, yeah. They put it down to something else.
People
Yeah,
are fickle
that's
things.
true.
Like the way that we just disregard stuff sometimes, we all do it, but it's just funny the extent that we'll just explain stuff away for no reason is great. I have one more question for all of us though.
Okay.
Because I wasn't going to ask it, but now that the topic came up, it's quite cool. So if we all went down to the Vatican and we got to see this robe of Christ, and you got to ask one question with a spirit box session over it, what question would you ask?
Ooh.
Jesus, is that really you? Probably. It would be. Jesus, is that really you? Give me a sign. It's the most obvious one for me. Is it really you? Jesus, is that you?
My question would be, were you really resurrected?
Good one. Mine would be, are you really the Son of God? Chat, if you want to chat, if there's, if you want to, what would you ask Jesus if you did a spirit session at the Vatican? What would your question be? Because it's a weird one.
I think another one would be, and it's a stickler with me. I think I have a thorn in my side, but it's like a stickler with me. And it's all about the religion again. I'm going back to religion and Ireland and fear God and Jesus and the priest. Oh, listen, don't let those green fields fool you. It's no. It's like you have people carrying out your work, and half of them are I can't even say the word. What are you doing with them? If you're going to get rid of bad, what are you? I'm a stickler for it. I am a gung-ho, want an answer. You have people carrying out your work and married to your dad or married to you, and they're carrying out your work and they're nothing. They're just devils in your cloth disguise. What are you going to do with them? Are they going to go down or they're going to go to man in the sky? How are you going to deal with it, Jesus?
And here's a fun thing about you just saying that. So the concept of hell has always confused me, right? So I was raised in a Christian household. I went to a C of E school. I brought up on Bible stuff, and the concept of hell confuses me, right? Because if Satan, Beelzebub himself, is an evil man who wants to raise an army against God in the future, why would he punish us for doing bad shit? Surely he'd be like, "Get in, son. You're on the team."
There's a party going on.
Secondly, depending which religion you are, Christianity, the concept of hell is even weirder, because God forgives everything you do except suicide. So murderers aren't going to hell. You are forgiven for your sin. That's why Jesus died. All the bad shit we've done is forgiven in the eyes of God, except for suicide. So the concept of hell has never made any sense to me. Unless hell is literally just a place where demons live, and that's what it's called. It's just the underbelly of the religious faith. But it's just I don't know what it's like in other religions, but it doesn't make sense to me that people say that bad people are going to hell as if it's a bad thing. Because if you're bad and you're going to hell, why would Satan punish you? Because he's also bad. He's making you do it. So it's like, it's the devil's work. He made me shoot these people. Yeah, he's probably proud of you. He's probably going to do a little celebration when you get down there. But you won't go down there because the man upstairs will be like, I know you shot 10 people, but all is forgiven. It's a weird thing. This is like that's the bit that's what I'd be asking Jesus. That's what I'd ask him.
Yeah, I've had a couple of mediums and legitimate mediums tell me that if you've done something not so nice in your life, like for example, murder and all those terrible things, that when you die, you're actually on a different realm to somebody that didn't do that. So they could be
Oh.
here, and somebody who was good in their life and didn't do any of that stuff would be up here.
So that's sort of.
So there's
Okay.
kind of different steps.
There's kind of, but the's. is
For
there
example,
evidence
the reason I'll
contrary
say the reason I say that, and for example, somebody I know, her brother disappeared 25 years ago. He disappeared with no trace. He just disappeared. Well, in his life, he did a lot of bad things. But her father, who was a very good man, very caring man, very generous man, who passed away several years ago, is who also passed away. So when she went to this medium, the medium actually told her, "Yes, I see you're," because they never found out if the brother actually died or not. He just disappeared. So she said, "Yes, your brother did pass away, but he passed away quickly, and he was gone like that." So, but the weird thing is, because she knew nothing about her brother. So the weird thing is, he's in a different place than your father. So I want to say, like, your brother's here, but your father's up here. And then she got into why her brother was maybe down here compared to her father up here. So is there a possibility that if you've done a lot of bad shit in your life, that you're going to go up, not go down? You're going to go up, but you're going to be in a different place than other people are going to be.
I'm not sure how much you could do that, because we've been to places together where there's been a negative spirit holding on to somebody in the spirit realm. We were in the caves in Stoke, and that woman couldn't leave. We found the woman who overdosed on drugs in this cave, and she couldn't leave because the big bad thing was that would obviously been pulled into that room. Wouldn't let her go, and she was asking us to help her get out of the cave. So if they're on different play realms, that shouldn't really happen. I mean, when you start breaking down the veil into subsections, it's going to get incredibly messy, I think.
Now, maybe the reason she couldn't leave was because of the fact that the way she died of an overdose. She died of self-infliction of taking drugs.
But
or
that's
drinking.
an assumption, because she could have been given them.
True.
So it's an assumption. Basically, I think when you start talking about punishments into different levels of playing as a ghost, I think it just opens up too many ends that are never going to meet. There's been so many times where I see, because again, if that's the case, is it possible for every single layer to navigate itself into our world? Because we've seen it happen. We've seen murderers do shit when they've been dead.
Yes.
And that goes back to what Jenny said a few minutes ago about, whoever you were in life is what you're going to be like in your afterlife. I don't know. I don't think we'll really know until we're dead.
Well, yeah.
To be honest.
I tell you what, though, living my life the way I do, if I die and the big man upstairs isn't real, I'm going to be pissed. Like, I'm coming back as a negative spirit just to be pissed off at that. I'm going to be like, hey, I've done so much good. Well, actually, I haven't. I've been bad as well. I fight for both teams.
You know what? I think we've all done something that we'll look back on and regret. That maybe it wasn't the best thing to do. So I think I don't think there's a person on this earth that hasn't thought that and has done something maybe a little bit bad that wouldn't look good in the big guy's eyes. You know what I mean? So
because all of it is fine.
Now I'm kind of going through my history. What did I do?
Yes, it's a question, and like I said,
you're all good.
like I said, it's not going. It's a question we're not going to be able to answer until we're actually gone. So
and even before that, say, like, if you get talking to someone who you knew who has passed over, and you can say get a sign, but then I'll just break down that sign and kind of ruin it, probably. But if you get I won't. But say if you got an answer, like in an EVP, and like I mean, was it my friend Neve? I don't know. I'm still rationalizing it. I think it was. She's the only one that knew the answer. Could have been someone pretended to be Neve. I don't know, but how would they know about my dog? Do I have someone follow me? I think I do. I think I have someone follow me. But even if, like, we don't have to die to get the answers, if you have someone say, right, Margaret, tell me my name, tell me my children's name, or something like that. Something that's personal that no one else would know, only this person would know, and you get it on audio, which we're still trying to do.
Well, it's a question that we can go on and on and on about, but you know what, everybody? I want to thank Jenny Sullivan for coming on our show today, and to let everyone know. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that was awesome. Oh dear. So
thank you for having me.
I will say that down in the description there are some links to go follow and go watch, and I think TikTok's down there, so if you want to go over on TikTok to follow her,
I do have 2 TikToks, but this is the new one that I set up, because the other one is just a mixture of paranormal and then me acting like a gobshite, because I get bored and I do TikTok. And then there's another one that I have that I'm putting solely EVPs out, locations out. So the higher I get, I do live from it.
Yeah, so down below are her links, so if you want to go over and follow and watch some of her stuff. She is also on Parapost Network Central on Saturdays, so you can watch her podcast, and she's got a great podcast. So again, thank you so much for coming on today's show. Really, really appreciate it, especially on short notice. Your dog wants out, and this might be a good segue too. Your dog is so funny. It's cute. Your dog is very, very cute.
It's traditional.
There you go. Leave, yeah. So again, thank you so much for coming on today's show. I'm going to say my thank yous, but I look forward to seeing all your stuff in the future for sure. Okay.
Well, we will be back. We will be there. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
No, short and sweet from me. Thank you so much for coming up. It's been a pleasure to speak to you, got to meet you, and I look forward to seeing what you do in the future. So keep it up.
Definitely. Thank you.
Have a great rest of the evening, okay?
Will do. You too, guys. You too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. We're back. We're back. Lex is back. I've already been back, but Lex is back. So
hope you missed me, guys. No one missed me. No one gave a fuck.
Everybody missed you. They were saying it every week. They missed you.
I know.
I missed you. Chat. Even though I had Matt. Matt was great. And I definitely missed you, and glad to see you back. So I want to thank everybody that came in the room today. I really, really appreciate it. If you can go over to our YouTube channel, if you're not watching there, and go over and give us a subscribe. And if you can share this page, that would be great. Okay, go ahead.
Just going to add on to that, I'm going to start doing this at the end of our shows because I think it's cool. It gets you guys onto the YouTube page, and it gives you a little chance to join in and get us to talk to you guys. So at the end of this show, and everyone, I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to go onto our YouTube channel, go to this video, go to the comment section and answer the question, and I'll read out the best answers on the following week. Okay? So the question for today is, if you went to the Vatican, what would you ask Jesus over his robe with a spirit box session? Leave your fun and creative answers in the comment section on YouTube, and I will read out the best ones next week.
Awesome. That's a great idea. Good for you. Look at the man's thinking.
I've not been doing nothing for 2 weeks, so I have had some ideas. But it would be cool. It gets you guys engaged, and it helps people go onto the YouTube platforms. We do need to get some numbers up on there as well. So go over there, answer those questions, and I'll put them up on here, and I'll be doing that every single week for you guys.
Awesome. That's great. Okay, everyone. Have a great rest of the day, and we will definitely see you next week. Ciao.
Take care, guys.